What's good, y'all? SkyMav in the building. Now look, we got another NBA tier list now. This one's a little special, okay? Because as you see, I got a lot of different tiers here. MVP, Superstars, All-Stars, Borderline All-Stars, Star in their role. A lot of people don't think about that. Starters, role players. Unranked doesn't mean good or bad. It just means I'm too lazy to rank them because look at what we got today. There's a lot of players, and I'm about to go through every one of them. I'm gonna try to not make it go on for too long, but still, we're gonna see. Okay, now this is real. This is gonna be completely facts, straight, no messing around. If you have any arguments with my list, go ahead. You can tweet at me. You can comment on below on the video. I do not care. Dislike the video, don't mean anything to me. But this is real facts. And if you have a good basketball mind, you're gonna enjoy this. So we're going to start with Devin Booker, which is actually going to be hilarious because this is one of the guys I want to talk about just a tiny bit. Now, Devin Booker, to me, he is a all-star. I'm going to rank these guys in line as well. At least I'll try to. Last video, I did like half of it and I forgot, but I'll try to do it. Devin Booker, anyway, is a scorer. He's a pure shooter. He's an excellent coming off of curls. He's a great off-ball scorer. But see, the issue with Devin Booker is that he needs to bring more to the table, I think. I mean, we all know he can score the basketball, but he's not an elite playmaker, he's not an elite defender, he's not an elite rebounder. Now, to me, I mean, you have to bring more to the table if you start to compare this guy to Kobe Bryant, who throughout his whole entire career was one of the best defensive players in the overall time of NBA history. Kobe Bryant is top of the list defensively. Now, we don't really want to talk about it. A lot of times we go back in history and think defenders, we think of tall players, shot blockers, but no. The Kobe Bryants, the Sidney Moncriefs, those players, they matter, okay? And Kobe is one of those guys. So Devin Booker, you just need to bring something else to the table. I think he has potential of being a good playmaker, and that'll do it. That'll put him in the superstar category to me, but the whole playoff run, the whole finals run, I could predict when he was going to have bad performances because he's not as good as a one-on-one player as people think. He can get there, he's just not there yet. Moving on, Norman Powell. I'm gonna unrank. I'm just unranked. Real quickly, Powell. I mean, got his bag from Portland. No comment. I still think the Gary Trent trade was a bad trade for the Blazers, but anyway, they locked up Norman Powell, which is the same position as CJ, but anyway, they'll have to figure that out. Ben Simmons is this is going to be good. I'm going to have to rank this. I'm just going to say starter. I'm not going to go into the Ben Simmons debate. I'm just going to put him there, and he's going to start on whatever team he gets traded to, or if he stays in Philly, he's still going to start. Mark my words. So, starter. We'll just leave it at that. Jamal Murray, my twin. I call him my twin because we both tore our ACLs really close in junction to each other. I'm gonna put him as an all-star. Put him ahead of Devin Booker. Just an incredible talent, and it was amazing how they were able to get past Portland without him. But they're gonna need him if they want to improve. Jaylen Brown, all-star to me. I'll put him behind these two, only because I know what he's gonna do next year. I know Jaylen Brown is going to cook next year. It's Brown, it's Tatum, there's no Marcus Morris, no Kemba Walkers, no Kyries, no Al Horfords. There ain't nobody else but Jason. And those two, that's why Jason, to me, is going to be superstar level. I'm not going to put him in the MVP conversation because the Celtics do not look that good on paper. I do not know how they're going to be in terms of regular season success, but as a player, I think he's going to be just absolutely dominant next season. I got him at around 28 points a game next year. If he goes anywhere below that, I'm going to be looking at him sideways because I think the Olympic experience should propel him to something of that magnitude. Mikal Bridges, star in his role. 3 and D, has a little more shot creation than you think. Very fast, very good off ball, star in his role. DiVincenzo unranked, only because I love DiVincenzo, love him since Villanova, but you missed he could have really made an impact for me to be like, okay, he's this or this in the finals, and wasn't able to because of injuries, which is unfair. Sorry, in the postseason, which is unfair. Devontae Graham, which is a weird one. He's a starter. He's gonna start for sure for New Orleans, and I want him to be he needs to be up to these ranks if they're going to get to where they want to get to. And I don't think Devontae Graham can get there. I'm sorry. And it's just unfortunate for New Orleans that they just continue to, they just haven't been able to find the pieces around Zion. But I like Devontae Graham. Now, the first player that's going to go into the MVP category is Luka. I talked about Luka in plenty of videos. Not much else needs to be said about him. My main man, there's Hunter, DeAndre Hunter. He's a good player. I actually like him. I just couldn't think of his name for a second. He is a starter. He's very Kawhi-esque. If you watch him play, very Kawhi-esque with his mid-range game. He has a meaty game, and he's also a great three-point shooter. And of course, defense is his pride and joy. Of course, KD MVP. Put him above Luka just because, I mean, KD is gonna wake up out of the bed next year and average 32. It's just gonna be so simple. He's in a system where he's gonna be. He showed Steve Nash that, hey, at any point in time you want me to carry you guys, I can do that, and he's gonna do that in the regular season at times. So he'll definitely be in the MVP conversation if he can stay healthy, which I hope all these guys do. Derrick Rose, star in his role. He's a star in his role because Derrick Rose comes off the bench now, and he just can play. He's just tough. He's tough as nails. He goes out there and guards. He runs the floor and still got that mid-range game. I'm gonna go a little faster here. I want to keep you guys here forever. Dragic, same deal. Star in his role for Miami. Very underrated. Tough as nails as well. Great. He's really become a lethal three-point shooter, which is really just added to the longevity of his game. Like Dragic. Another person in the MVP category is Steph. I'm gonna put him in between these two. We all know Steph. Don't need to talk too much about him. All-star is Jimmy Butler. I'll put him ahead of all these guys just because I think I'm positive he has more all-star appearances. Jaylen Brown, I don't think has one. So he's not a superstar though. He was a superstar in the bubble. Yeah, he dropped that with his performance last season and how inefficient he was in the playoffs. He's got to get back to that. Dennis. No comment. I have no clue what capacity Dennis Schroeder is going to play for the Celtics next year. He's unranked. Joe Harris, just a role player. He's not really a star in his role. I thought he was. Maybe he'll get there at the end of the season, but he just kind of fell flat in the playoffs. He just had good looks and just missed them, and he's supposed to be a shooter. I know it's tough to make it that black and white, but it is what it is, and you got to make shots if you're considered a shooter, and that's why Duncan Robinson got paid $80–90 million because he makes shots. And not comparing the two because they both were terrible in the playoffs, but role player. For Nikola Jokic, their MVP, which stop disrespecting this man. Go back and watch that 6-game series against Portland and appreciate how amazing and dominant Nikola Jokic is. That's why I'm putting him above Kevin Durant for now. King, my guy, Bron, I'm going to put him in the MVP conversation. I'll put it right behind Jokic ahead of KD. Now, KD will start the season better than LeBron, but I think as time goes on, LeBron, with his team success, which, I mean, come on, that team on paper is ridiculous. Forget about age. If you're thinking about age still, you just don't know basketball. That team is ridiculous. They're going to be the best seed in the West, and I think that's going to propel him to be in the MVP conversation, even if his numbers may not be better than the other guys on this list. Moving on. Bogey. I love me some Bogey. I got him on a 2K fantasy team, and he just lights it up. He's a star in his role to me. A guy, I mean, starter, yes, but he's also just a star in his role because he plays off of Trey so well, and he had a little iffy streak in the playoffs. I think he got a bad knee, so I can't hold that against him, but I'll put him second behind Michael Bridges in that category. Yusuf, the Bosnian beast. I'm very familiar with Yusuf being in Portland. I'll put him in the starter category. I'll put him at the back. I mean, he's fine. Kelly Oubre. He's just a role player at this point in his career. I know his name is a little more famous than his actual game. Because for whatever reason, he couldn't hit the side of the basket to start the season last year for Golden State, which kind of lowered his stock. But we'll see. Maybe he comes in next year. If he hits his shots, he's got everything else. Good defender, great athlete, and pretty smart player. Go to Chris Paul. He's in a superstar category next to Jason Tatum. He's not going to be in the MVP conversation, but he's above all-star. Once you get to the amount of All-Stars. Not just that, but the amount of consistency over time. You're out of that All-Star category. You're in the Superstar category for the longest you're playing at an elite level. And Chris Paul he was amazing. His stats may not have shown that he was better than Devin Booker, but he was the driving force that got to the finals. And move on. I was going to talk about more players, but we may see them on this list. Bam! Bam is an All-Star. I'll just keep him right there. He's an All-Star. I think he can be on the level of a Jokic and be type, but he's just not there yet. Lonzo, he's a starter to me. That's it. I mean, Lonzo, you gotta show me. I want to move you up, man. I want to move you up, but you gotta. I need to see some more in Chicago. Chicago, like you said, is gonna be the situation that opens up your game. Then let's see it. Russell, Kessel Runbrook, if you're a Star Wars fan. I'll put him. Not, no, I'm going too high with that. I'll put him in the All-Star category. No, I'll put him in the All-Star category only because I'll be unbiased. I want to put him in the Superstar category, but I'll put him at the top of the All-Star category just because he didn't have an extremely impactful season last year with Washington. I know we cannot understate the fact that he averaged a triple-double. That was amazing. We should never underrate the fact that he does that, but you'll just put him in the All-Star category. James Wiseman, unranked. I need to see more. Starter, Brook Lopez, underrated center though. He's very, very good. He just plays his role. But he's a starter. He's not a role player. Bradley Beal is a All-Star. I'll give him Superstar. He averaged 30, but I don't want to put him above some of these guys, so I'll put him right next to Russell in the All-Star category. Yeah, a lot of players still left. We'll go a little faster. Star in their role, Marcus Smart. Put him in front of everybody. If you know Marcus Smart's work ethic, then you know that he's a star in his role. Stephen A, he deserved every penny of that $77 million contract. Forget what you're saying. Tobias Harris, borderline All-Star. Will be the first in this category. Excellent scorer, really strong body, 3-level scorer. If you play 2K, he's that in a nutshell. Vooch, underrated. He's an All-Star. I'll put him at the very bottom of this. Just because he kind of fell flat at the end of the year in Chicago, but it was a new situation. He'd only been in Orlando for his career, so only getting playing time in Orlando. So there you go. AD, right in this MVP category, right above LeBron James. Now I will be biased about this one because I know that Anthony Davis had a down year, and I know how hard he works and how much he puts that on himself. And he has a situation where he's playing with the two best playmakers in the NBA. Argue a wall. The two best playmakers in the NBA are Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, and he's playing with those two, and he is the automatic. He's the best. He's one of the best finishers, right next to KD and Giannis. What I mean by finishers is he's the one that's going to finish the play. Open three, alley-oop dunk, ISO mid-range, anything. He's going to be the one to finish the play. Russell and LeBron are going to be the people that are going to get him the easy baskets. So he's going to get 10, 12 points on just Russell and LeBron being themselves. And then the other, matter of fact, he's going to get like 16 points off of that. The other 16 he can get being himself. 80, I don't think he's going to average 30, but he can with that team he has. And I think he's going to put up better numbers than Russell and LeBron, which will put his eyes in the MVP rank a little higher for the media. So that's my feeling for we have two Chris Pauls. This one will be unranked. Kyle Lowry is a All-Star. He's an All-Star. I'll put him here because he's a little more consistent than the rest of these guys. I'm not going to put him above Devin Booker because I think Booker's better at this stage of his career. But I love Kyle Lowry. Cat, he's at the bottom of the All-Star list to me. I don't want to go on a rant about Cat, but he just doesn't. His numbers are great. But if you put up those type of numbers and you can't even get to the playoffs with a solid team, his team is not bad. The Timberwolves are not a bad team. Show me more, and show me more on defense. Brandon Ingram, borderline All-Star, put him behind Tobias Harris, same as Tobias, 3-level scorer. A little more playmaking for Brandon Ingram, which I do like to see. Sabonis, I'll put him above Cat because he at least tries on defense. All-Star for sure. Zion, I'll put him in the All-Star category. I don't know where to put him. I'll put Zion right here. I don't know why I did that, but that's why I'll put Zion. I want to move on, keep going forward. CJ, borderline all-star. He's better than these two players. I'm sorry. CJ McCollum is an absolute stud, and he can average 27 points a game if he wanted to, but the fact that he's playing behind Dame, he's playing in Terry Stotts, now trying to build up system, he didn't need to. He was averaging 26 all the lock for all-star last year before he missed 4 to 6 weeks, I think, with an ankle injury. He's a borderline all-star. I would put him in the all-star category, but he doesn't really have one yet, and that'd be jumping the gun. All-star in Gobert, we know that. I'll put Gobert. Oh, dang, I'll put him right here. I mean, I love Gobert, but I mean, he's one-dimensional. Defensive player, rebounder, shot blocker, which is amazing, but we know what we're going to get from Gobert. He's not really going to go above and beyond. Borderline all-star to me is John Collins, and he's going to be at the bottom of this list because it's going to take him a while to get there, but I mean, this dude is just so good. He's so John Collins. If you watched him I did not know how good he was. I didn't know he had a face-up game. I didn't know he had ISO game. He had a handle. He had defense. He could guard Embiid. I didn't know he could do that at 6'8". I mean, props to John Collins. Starter is Clint Capella, good center. Kemba, I'll put him as a starter because he's not I would put him in the borderline all-star category, but he's just not there right now. Y'all need to see more because as inefficient as he is as a scorer, it just makes it even worse when he's not a good defender. So put him in the starter category at the end of that list. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, I can say his name. I'm not a scrub. Now put him at the #1 category because I'll give him all the respect. If you're going to win Finals MVP and you're in the prime of your career, you get to be #1 in the MVP category. Sorry, everybody else. I mean, that's just be giving respect to the guy who's earned it. There's Hornets category of this all of a sudden. Borderline all-star LaMelo Ball. He'll go at the bottom of this list only because I need to see more, but this man is he's just so good. I've been watching LaMelo. He's matured. I don't need to keep saying it, but man, he's going to be really good. I just want to see him get improved. Just don't stay stagnant. Role players, no. Star, no. I'll put him as a starter. I'll put him above. I'll put him #1 in this, though. Terry Rozier is just absolutely a flamethrower. If he catches fire, he can go for 30, 40, 50. I guarantee he's going to have a 50 spot this year. Role player, Gordon Hayward. He just kind of lost his. I mean, I'll put him in the starter category, but he's going to be behind all these guys. He needs to get that confidence back, and he has freak injuries throughout the season. You can't really say anything about that, but it is what it is. Unranked Lauri Markkanen, he's not even on the team right now. I mean, he's a restricted free agent for Chicago, but I don't think they're going to keep him. Colin Sexton, starter. He's not going to be an all-star or borderline all-star yet until he adds more than just scoring. He's completely one-dimensional, even way more so than Devin Booker. I gave Devin Booker a lot of flack, but Colin Sexton is the ideal one-dimensional player. He scores, and that's pretty much it. Andre Drummond is a starter, and he needs to be up pretty high. I'll put him. Yes, I want to put Devontae Graham a little higher, just because I know he's gonna get so many shots in New Orleans. So I'll put Andre Drummond in second because Andre Drummond is good. I don't know whose dumb self thought that Andre Drummond was bad just because he makes goofy mistakes every once in a while. He is good. I watched him play. As bad as the Lakers spacing was last year, he still looked good. Like, he's a good player. K Porzy, he's just a starter. I'll put him here, I guess. He just needs to show me more. He was in the borderline all-star category, but he's falling off from there. I think was he an all-star? I don't know. Jeremy Grant, my goodness. He is a borderline all-star to me. He gonna have, I mean, Kate Cunningham, sorry, move aside, because Jeremy Grant's still there. He's still there, having a dominant season last year. As a guy coming into his own, I mean, put him in the borderline all-star category for sure. Draymond, #1 star in his role. There's nobody on this list I'm gonna find better than Draymond Green as a star in his role. I would put him in the all-star category, put him in the borderline all-star category, but I think having him be the headline of this list of players is absolutely where Draymond would want to be. So that doesn't mean he's less than an all-star. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that he is the best star in his role the NBA has right now. Andrew Wiggins, unranked. He's just so up and down for me. I can't gauge what kind of player. One day he's a defender, one day he can't guard anybody. One day he's a good jump shooter, the next day he can't shoot. I just don't know. James Harden is a superstar. He's not going to be in the MVP level category. He's going to be behind these two only because his impact isn't going to be as felt with the Nets because there's so many good players on that team. John Wall, unranked just because I have no clue what they're going to do with John Wall. They have like 6 good point guards that are all like young and in Houston, and I don't know if he fits. So may get traded. I'm not going to put him there. None of these players in the unranked category are ranked in line, just for future reference. Same with Victor Oladipo. I know he re-signed with Miami. He signed for a veteran minimum, so they didn't expect much out of him, honestly. So I don't know what's going on with Victor. Christian Wood is a borderline all-star, but the only problem is I put him at the head of the starter list because I just don't think he's going to be an all-star. Christian Wood is so good, but he's not in a situation where he's going to be an all-star because there's so many guards that are just going to gun over there in Houston, and it's just going to be hard for him to do what he did last year. So he's top of the starter list right now because he puts up all-star level numbers. Malcolm Brogdon, starter, the president, put him here. Again, if you guys have any arguments with this ranking, then just let me know. I really don't have any issue with it. I'm gonna unrank Karis LeVert right now just because I don't know what he's gonna look like next year. Hopefully it gets back to like that borderline all-star category that he was hitting the beginning of last year, but we'll see. Miles Turner is a starter, and I'm gonna put him. He's gonna be above Drummond, but you could interchange these two. Miles Turner is a great shot blocker, but he's not incredible defensively, which sounds funny, but he's good defensively because he can rim protect. I don't really know. I just know that he's right here. Ja is. I'm putting him in the superstar category. I don't really care. I don't care. Give me Ja over any one of these guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll take a couple of one of these guys for situational reasons, but what he showed in the regular season, in the playing game, and we have to start him here at least. If he gets lower, then fine, but start him. Ja, superstar. He is amazing. His buddy Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm putting him unranked because he needs to show more since recovering from that injury. He was out for a long time. I need to see more for him. Valanciunas, who is now a member of the Pelicans, I'll put him in the. I don't know. I'll put him in the starter category. Colin Sexton needs to be up. Sorry, he's not there. It's Colin Sexton actually. I'll put him right here. I don't know why he was down that low. But I'll put him wherever I put Valanciunas. I'll put Valanciunas right behind these other two centers, just because he's not a good defender. But I mean, like, he's a 17 and 10 guy. He's a monster offensively. Drew Holiday is a. I want to put him on the star in his role, but yeah, I'll do that. I'll put him right behind Draymond and star of his role because he knows his role. He's a playmaker, scorer, amazing defender. He's not an efficient scorer. At least he hasn't been over this postseason, and even in the Olympics, he wasn't that efficient. But he's still. I mean, Drew Holiday is. All 30 teams wanted Drew Holiday. Joel Embiid. He is a superstar. MVP. I'll put him in the MVP category because I know he was in that conversation last year, so I don't want to disrespect that. I'll put him. Matter of fact, I'll put Luka. I'll put Steph at the end of this list just because I don't know what the Warriors' record is going to be next season. A lot of that is borderline on Klay's health, so I'll put Embiid right here for that. Chris Middleton is a all-star. I'll put him right here. It's just incredibly consistent. Gets it done. D'Lo, unranked. He needs to play a full season. I'm sorry. I know health isn't in the player's control, but for me to rank him, he needs to play a full season. Anthony Edwards, I mean, starter, I guess, but like he's kind of like a borderline all-star. But then again, I don't know because it's kind of like empty stats. I don't know exactly like how good that team is going to be coming into next season. So I don't really know what numbers he's going to put up. So I'll unrank him. The Timberwolves are kind of like a team where I'm like, I don't really know where they're going to be next year. They need to end this rebuild stuff though. Malik Beasley, He needs to be in the role. He is a star in his role. He's going to be towards the end of this category, but he is a lights out shooter, and he's a solid defender. But Malik Beasley is a lights out shooter, and he's extremely athletic. He needs to get more recognition. People kind of get lost in some of these cities sometimes, but he is a good player. I don't even know what, I mean, he's on the Clippers now, but yo, this dude, he shot like 25% from the field in the playoffs a year ago. I don't know what's going on with Bledsoe. Steven Adams is a starter. I mean, I would put him in a star in his role, but he's getting a little, he goes back and forth. Some seasons he looks good, some seasons he looks like he's getting past his prime. I don't know. All four of these centers to me are interchangeable. I'll put him right there. Julius Randle. I'm gonna put him in the All-Star category. I'll put him pretty high. I'll put him right. I'll put him above. I'll put him interchange between him and Zion. Great year last year, and he's a two-way player, which I will put two-way players up high in this list. Love Julius Randle. A lot of Knicks fans got on me for saying that Bradley Beal was better, which he is, but I still love Julius Randle. Anyway, Mitchell Robinson, unranked. I mean, why is he even? That's random. Okay. Shea is going to be an all-star next year. Shea, he got the bag. He's going to prove it. I'm going to put him at the bottom because he's not an all-star yet, but he doesn't belong. Oh, you know, I'll put him at the top of the borderline all-star list. I'll just do that because he doesn't have an all-star appearance yet. I think all these guys on here have one other than maybe Zion. Does Zion have one? Maybe, you know, Zion has an all-star. So yeah, all these guys on here have an all-star. He doesn't yet. He'll get there. Fournier, I mean, he's a role player. He's a star in his role, kind of. I guess I'll put him here. I don't know how many touches he's going to get in New York. My man Dalla, my big bro, Dame, slide him all the way up to the MVP conversation. I'll put him above Steph, behind Embiid, just because Dame has more control over his team's record than I think Steph does. Just because that has nothing to do with their talent as players, just more so how their teams are structured. So I'll put Dame in front of Steph. Seth Curry is a star in his role for sure. I mean, you want him to spot up, he'll shoot 45%. You want him to come off the dribble, he'll shoot 45%. You want him to come off screens, he'll shoot 45% from three. Sniper, 3-level scorer. He can finish at the rim. He got that pizza pie finish, which you hold the ball up high off the glass. He's nice. Star in his role. I'll put him above. Nah, I'll keep him here. I'll put Malik Beasley. I'll put Malik Beasley at the very bottom of this list. DeAndre Ayton is a borderline all-star to me. He's gonna be the third on this list. I mean, Ayton was just so good. He really showed how amazing he was in the playoffs last year, and he's gonna probably get recognition as an all-star, but gotta improve as well. Improve more so his toughness. I'm not saying anything about his character, but just the physicality and him getting bullied by Giannis, and they're around the same size. It just, I mean, I know Giannis is fast, but maybe he just needs to improve his physicality. Really nice dude though. Deserves to be an all-star if he continues to be what he is. Aaron Gordon, he's gonna be unranked to me. I would put him in the role player category, but I mean, he averaged like 10 in the playoffs. I don't know. He was supposed to be such a big piece for Denver, and he kind of fell flat. De'Aaron Fox, superstar. He's not even been. He doesn't have an all-star appearance, so I can't put him there. But he should be a superstar. He is so good. De'Aaron Fox is so good. He just stuck on a team that's not that good, and I'll put him in the borderline all-star, but he's better than all these other guys. He is. I'll put him at the top of this list. Tyrese, I'll put him unranked just because I'll put him at the top of the unranked category just so you see his face. I mean, a second-year player, I don't know what capacity he's going to be playing next year. Buddy, he was a Laker for about an hour, but now he's still a King. He's just a starter. Top of this list, but he's still just a starter. DeJounte Murray is a starter as well. He's still kind of stagnant to me. He needs to kind of continue to propel his career. I know a lot of that's out of his control. I'm trying to think where to put him. I'll put him above the centers. He's got the mid-range game on lock, but he's just got to continue to improve, continue to get better. DeMar I love DeMar DeRozan. He's going to be a borderline all-star next season. I don't know what kind of capacity they're going to be playing through him next year. I don't know who they're going to be playing through at all. I mean, I love the Bulls. Like, on paper, they're going to be my second favorite team to watch. For sure. I just love this Bulls roster. Put him behind Brandon Ingram. Right here sounds good to me for DeMar DeRozan. Because he's unbelievably underrated. He's unbelievably... I can't believe how underrated DeMar DeRozan has been because he doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Like, Chris Paul doesn't shoot a lot of threes, and he is called the point guard. Like, come on. Threes is not the whole game, but I'm not going to get into that can of worms again. Mike Conley is finally an all-star. Put him in this category. He's at the bottom, but you put him in the category. I didn't think he should have been an all-star last year. I think it was kind of a sympathy vote, but he deserved to be all-stars in other seasons. He did. So he is an all-star. He's in the all-star category. Bogey, the other Bogey, the Utah one. I could put him as a starter, but I think he's a star in his role because he can just... You want him to just be in the corner. He can be in the corner and shoot a high percentage, but he can also put it on the dribble. He's an underrated defender. He's got great footwork around the rim. He's a star in his role. Kyrie. Kyrie to me is an all-star. I'll put him at the very top of this all-star list, and I'll put him as a superstar. Nobody come for me. I'm thinking about the next team. I'm thinking about what he's going to do. I'm thinking superstar to me is like the best player on your team, and he's just not that. All these other players on this list are the best player on their team other than James Harden, so I'll put him there because of Kevin Durant. No, I'll put it like that, because James Harden, because Kyrie is, you know what, I'll put him at the top of this list, only because he's done what none of these guys have been able to do yet. So I'll put Kyrie in the superstar category. Moving on, Pascal had a slow start to the year last year, but he's not getting traded. He's going to be a Toronto Raptor. He said it, and I said this for months. He would never be traded. At least not this year. He is an all-star. I'll put him in this area. He is an all-star. Put him behind Gobert because Gobert has the hardware. Fred VanVleet is a starter. He'll be probably one of the tops in this list. I'll put him above Sexton because he plays defense. Not above. You can switch out these two. But I like VanVleet a lot. OG Anunoby unranked. I don't really know what he's done over the last few years. Same with Chris Boucher. Shout out to the Oregon products, but I don't know what he's done either. Oh, get him up out of here. Kawhi is a unranked because I don't even know if he's gonna play next year. Makes that easy. Paul George, he's gonna be in the superstar category, and I'll tell you why. First of all, he's better than all these guys on this list. And he's just, I love the two-way guys, and I'll put him above John Morant. Actually, I'll put him above James Harden as well. And I just think that he's just gonna get more opportunity to be on the level of the rest of the guys in the MVP conversation because it's his team now. Kawhi is going to be, at least for like a good few months, Kawhi is going to be out. He may not even play this next year, so it's Paul George's team, and he showed that he could carry them somewhat. In the playoffs, they got to the conference finals. Nobody expected that after Kawhi went down. And Paul George's leadership, he wasn't incredibly efficient, but he would get hot in times during games, and you need guys like that, especially on the road. That's what I love about Paul George. He can get hot on the road. This is what separates these guys on the top in the MVP kind of category and the superstars from the rest of these guys. If you can do it consistently home, on the road, big game, we need you to score 40. Paul George showed that he could do that. He could not get over the Phoenix Suns hump, but Paul George has shown that he is a superstar. Stop with this slander about Paul George. No, Devin Booker coming in his face calling him the B word. That's just ridiculous. Paul George he's a monster. He's really good. He's exiting his prime, but he's still a superstar. Donovan Mitchell, I mean, come on now. He's a superstar as well. I'm going to put him... Matter of fact, I want to put him here, but I just don't know. I'll put him here. I'll put him at the end of the MVP conversation. There's a lot of guys that could be in the MVP conversation. Actually, it's too much. I'll put Donovan above Kyrie, only because Donovan Mitchell, go look up his playoff numbers, and you'll realize why I put him above Kyrie at this stage. Zach got himself some soldiers now in Chicago. Zach is going to be he's an all-star. I'll put him at the bottom of this list, and I'll put him above. Matter of fact, I'll put him above a lot of these guys. I'll put him right next to Jaylen Brown. I think they're almost on the same level, Brown and Levine. I think they're very, very similar players. Brown may play a little bit more defense, but Zach LaVine's a better shooter, and I think Zach LaVine's defense is underrated. I don't think he's as bad as a defender as people think. I think he improved a lot also in Tokyo, so we'll see if that that moves into the next season, if he can be a better defensive player. Now, Trae Young, put him in this category and stop slandering this man. This was the best point guard in the NBA in the playoffs last year. Due to injuries or whatever the heck, doesn't matter. He was better than Chris Paul. He was the best point guard in the playoffs in 2021. He was. That's why he's right. I mean, Dame, yes, but Dame only got past. You could argue Dame, but he was only in the first round, you know. Trae made it, and it was mainly because of him. He was the one at the end of the games making big shots, shushing the Knick crowd. He was doing his thing, and I love it. I love Trae Young's game. I love that I doubted him coming out of college, because he just proved me wrong. Role player is Lou Dort. I'm not going to put him in the unranked category because I like Lou Dort. He's going to be a good player in this league. He needs to improve his offense, and his handle's already decent. And he's a lockdown defender, so he's good. Role player, Harrison Barnes. I'll put him at the end of the star in his role category because it's a guy that could be a spot-up shooter or can get you 15, 20 points a game if you needed to him. You throw him in the post, you can ISO, top of the key. He can do it all. Harrison Barnes is really kind of matured into a very good player. Very Rudy Gay-ish, if you ask me. I don't know why Rudy Gay is not on this list though. 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. I'll put him in the star of his role, and I'll put him right behind Draymond because I'll give him credit. He was the star role player last year, meaning that he was a star bench player. That's why he won 6th man of the year. Can't put him above Draymond. I still value what Draymond does too much, but I'll put him right behind him. Michael Porter, dude, he's a starter, but like he is the most confusing player. I have no clue what his career is going to turn out like. Rashad Holmes is another guy who's a star in his role. This guy is very underrated. I mean, 6'10" or 6'8" maybe, but he can maybe even 6'7", but he's switchy and he can defend 1 through 5 almost, and he's an athletic player. He's got a really good touch around the rim. Good free throw shooting big man. Very good free throw shooting big man. He's a star in his role. RJ Barrett. I like RJ Barrett. I'm gonna put him in unranked just because it's the same as Michael Porter. I don't know what his career trajectory is gonna be. Same with Time Lord. Gary. Fitting that Gary is the last player here because Gary Trent Jr. is literally going to be, again, I make this hot take every single video. Gary Trent Jr. is a starter, and that's where he should be, but I'm going to put him here. Oh, sorry. No, not an all-star. He's borderline all-star, because Gary Trent Jr., I don't think people know how good this dude is. They don't. They don't know how good this dude is, and they don't know how much of a mistake the Norman Powell trade was. Gary Trent is he's not a great defensive player. He needs to get better. That'll get better as he gets stronger, but he is a sniper. He's got outside shooting ability. He's got a mid-range game, a decent handle. He does not care about who's putting hands in his. He doesn't care. He's a dead eye. And he's just unconscious. I think this is a dude that got traded to Toronto. Next week was dropping 40. And people don't want to talk about it. Had a game winner, buzzer beater in Toronto. I know he stiffed on the crap out of old boy, but dude, Gary Trent he's going to have a breakout year. He is going to have a breakout year. If he doesn't, then I'll take the blame. But this is my hot take. Anyway, I think that's it. I mean, this was a big fat list of players, and there's a lot of places where you can argue, a lot of places where you can disagree, and I welcome that. Leave your comments in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Twitter at SkyMav6, and that's it. Take care, y'all. Thank you for watching the whole thing. SkyMav out.